right, everybody, welcome in. It's Wednesday night. Oh, we're doing this. Kevin got up for this. T. Murphy's here. Ryan's here. Now, this is about right. We have a special guest host. Who is it? You may have already cracked the code. We just lost him, though, for a sec. Like, we had our special guest host here, but we lost him, and that's going to make his reveal in a second, like, all the more dramatic when we once again find our special guest our special guest host. It's truly a moment in 315 with Brian Higgins on YouTube history. It's not really a moment in history because we've done stuff like many times before, but never quite in this form. But we're gonna hit the right button here. I'm hitting buttons. We're gonna get him here in a second. We're hitting buttons. Welcome in here. It's a Wednesday night. There's been clamoring. I've heard a lot of clamor for a Wednesday show. So here we are. We're doing the thing. It's a Wednesday show. It's midweek. I'm trying to hit buttons. Buttons are don't mind me. I'm moving this keyboard here. This is very dramatic here. I'm sure you're all enjoying the me stumbling through the beginning of the show, and I'd have it no other way because the reveal is going to be even more dramatic when the buttons work here. Where did he go? Why isn't that working? Oh, now we've hit some buttons. We may even unmute him. Could there have been a better reveal for Jordan Capozzi than for to have things go tragically wrong to start the show? My man, what is up? What is going on?
Brian, you don't have to take any blame for this. Let's
No.
let everybody know exactly what happened. I had you on my laptop. I was worried about my lighting.
Yeah.
I started cleaning my laptop camera.
You cleaned
It
it into
stopped
oblivion.
working.
You cleaned it so good that it's now like dead black.
Yeah, might have just broke my laptop camera for you, but it's worth it, friend. Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
Well, we're doing fiscally great, so we'll purchase you a new one anytime now. Welcome in, Chad, Kev, Govendo, Ryan. Yeah, we're getting the band back together. We're getting the band back together. Are the Yankees losing right now? I've been out of touch with baseball. We've been doing a little bedtime here. It's a Wednesday night. We got our guy Jordan here. So we're just doing a thing. I don't know, Jordan, you're very good at reading all my mentions on social media, and we talk about this a lot. There's been a clamor for a midweek show. About what I don't know, with who I don't know. So we're doing this. Like this is what happened. People like you, I've heard they want to see me talk to you. So here we are. We're talking, and we're just gonna let it roll. And if tonight doesn't explode the internet in a bad way, if it's in a good way, we'll keep doing it. Then we'll do it again next week, and we'll see what happens here.
I'm down for webcam woes Wednesday, Brian.
Okay.
I'm down.
I've been trying to. We know we like a good alliterative name because everything in sports talk radio or internet, alliteration is better. Don't mind me. I'm gonna get this baseball game on my TV here to my left so we can keep an eye on it. That's not a baseball game at all. That's Miami, Florida State. I know how that one ends. But here we are. So I think the main thing, obviously, we do around here, yeah, we'll keep an eye on the Yankees here a little bit. I know a lot of people are watching that. But we're here to talk Syracuse sports. And since Jordan is on the show here, if anyone has ever seen or heard us on the show together before, we will be getting a Jordan Capozzi food review of, and this is a tease to reel you all in for later, of a thing that he himself cooked from scratch. I wish I had like a mind explosion sound effect for that one because I don't know if the people are ready for that, but we'll save that for later in the show, the Jordan Capozzi food review. But what's up, man?
It's gonna get cold.
It's getting cold.
Wait, it's gonna get cold,
Oh,
dude.
should we go the other way? Like we haven't
What are we
planned
gonna
this.
talk for half an hour and then let it get cold?
Do you want to start with the food? Do you want to show the people what you got? What do we got?
So how about this?
Okay.
I attempted to make a buffalo chicken wing dip.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it. It's probably gonna fall. I'm gonna try it, and you set the scene, Brian. Then I'll give my review of my own cooking.
If you dump your buffalo chicken wing dip on your phone and ruin your second camera of the night, then it will really have something. So this is interesting to begin with. You're going buffalo chicken wing dip, but you're eating it with a spoon, so that's going to give you the That's going to give you the thorough taste. You're not obscuring it with a chip. You're not doing anything like that. So Jordan, noted eater, noted consumer of other people's food. Nobody does it at a higher level than him. Has gone out of the limb here on a Wednesday night in early October and said that he, getting ready for a future a tailgating situation, perhaps a future game watch situation, a future snack, he's made buffalo chicken wing dip for the very first time. This accurate? Okay.
Yes, I don't think I've made anything. So here's what's going on. As many may know, new thing I'm doing.
I did
And
see he had. If you haven't seen, he posted on the various social medias the other day the merch bag he got. He got a little swag bag for welcome, and I assume that's part of it.
We're doing this ridiculous Spirit Week thing, like in a good way, but like today was Color Wars, so like we were all wearing different colors, and they had breakfast pizza. Tomorrow is tailgate day, so I'm gonna wear my outdated Tom Brady sweater with the goat and 5 rings. It's a great time to be a Pats fan, by the way.
Okay.
Sorry about your Giants, but you had your moment.
They won that one. They were leading on Sunday. If you just ignore the last 3 quarters of the game.
And I wanted to bring something in, so I tried to make some buffalo chicken wing dip. The only thing I cheated on is I got rotisserie chicken. Like I didn't cook the chicken. It's pretty good. I think it's a little too much.
Called that in the chat. Yeah, I'd say it's very rare people are going straight up cooking chicken from scratch for a chicken wing dip. So no, I'd say that is in the you're in the right you're in the right realm for a chicken wing dip.
It's not bad. I use a little too much chicken. I was nervous I was going to use too little, and the people of National Grid were going to think that I didn't have that chicken money. Mm-hmm. There's too much chicken, so it'll be okay. If you like pulled chicken, then you'll like it.
All right, this is why our bills are so high monthly, because they got extreme chicken money at National Grid these days. Do you feel you hit the? You're a guy that's not afraid of the spice. Did you get the? Did you get your spice level right? Do you feel good about how you put it together?
No? Not really. Okay. I followed the recipe to a T. I think there could be. I might add a little more Frank's right before I put it in the oven for the people. It's not a bad first attempt. Like if you're gonna mess up on buffalo chicken wing dip, I say you have a lot more chicken, because like then you can put it on a sandwich if you want. You can just eat it. Like I'm not mad. I know where to go now. I know where to go.
Yeah. Like if you're gonna mess up the chicken wing dip, you don't want to mess. Like the worry would have been if you took that first bite there and then just like passed out on the floor because it was too spicy. That could have been an electric end to our first episode if you just the chicken wing dip has failed Jordan. All right, so maybe I don't know. This could be the start of a new culinary lifestyle for our guy Capozzi to be rando cooking on Wednesday nights, which we are all for, and if so, we will celebrate here on our show. But we got to catch up with Jordan on the Syracuse sporting world. Jordan's still at all the home games here. Obviously, I'm doing all the post-game shows. We still got I got a new column out today. If you want to check out the Juice Online, I wrote about everyone's favorite question in fall in Syracuse. Quote, is it basketball season yet? End quote. So I'll start with that question. This is not a basketball question. It's become a football question, Jordan. Is it basketball season for you? We're halfway through football. It's 3-3. The last 2 weeks have been a disaster fest, but you got the back half of the season. Where are you in holding out hope for the last 6 games of football right now?
Well, let me tell you this. The ACC Media Day couldn't have came at a better time. Like right now, it gets you right in there. And I was listening to what everybody was saying today, and the guys were kind of getting me excited. Like Donnie got me really excited about Tyler Betsy. I heard part of the clip. They were like, he's 6'9" and very long and athletic. And I was like, oh, he's talking about William Kyle. No, Betsy, the Cincinnati transfer, who I don't think people know what to expect from him. So I'm excited for basketball a bit, but is football going good? No, but for 2 reasons, I'm still in on football. One, I think Fran has kind of earned that.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't look good, and I'm not even saying I'm optimistic they're going to make a bowl game. I'm not. Like 5 wins at this point would be good. Don't ask me to pick them. I can try. You can pick the losses probably, but then again, Miami last year. But 1, Fran's earned it. Let's see what happens. 2, it's kind of a beautiful train wreck right now. it's not like the here we go again train wreck. Something about this just feels different. Like the fact that the backup QB who's not doing well is an LSU guy.
Yeah.
I think that adds a little bit of spice to it. The fact that you have another guy behind him who fans want to see, like Luke Carney came in, right? And we saw he did some good stuff for high school, and he's playing in Dallas, and that's a big deal, but we don't know how good he is. But there's more hope. I don't think they're going to put him in. I'll spoil that right now. I don't think he starts a game this year if Ricky's healthy, but I just think there's a little bit more intrigue to this train wreck. And worst comes to worst, right? Last year, we knew what we were getting from those veterans. This year, I mean, I'm still excited to see how guys like Demetrius Samuel develop. There's a lot you can still watch for. So I'm not fully on basketball season yet, but I was real glad when I saw that there were some interviews and press conferences to watch today.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was around here like for years and years and years. It was always basketball season, almost regardless of whatever else is going on. Fran has been so magnetic and compelling that it's like, oh, that's here. Oh, wow, like you forget about it, which is, it's good and bad because you want basketball to be better, but it's good we have this football to hang our hat on. And then let's hit it. I mean, the big story here the last couple weeks, obviously, the terrible Steve Angeli injury. Just when it was like, wow, this guy's pretty good. Like impossible standard. Kyle McCourty still wasn't that, but man, he was playing really well. Leads the win down at Clemson. Then you get Ricky Collins in there, and I think it goes to what you said, the here we go again thing. If this exact same thing had happened with Dino as the head coach, like exact same thing, even add the Clemson win, because this did happen in a season where Dino beat Clemson. Dungy got hurt. Here we go again. They went 4-8 that year. Like, we'd be sitting here at 3-3, and Dino's pressers when quarterbacks got hurt, it's just sad. Like, you just felt like his dog got stolen, and like somebody gave him a cat and then took it back, and you're like, why can't Dino be happy? Fran has the benefit, in my mind, Jordan, of I think us as people that have watched Syracuse football for a long time are like, is this here we go again? And Fran's like, where are we going? 10-3? Like, that's where we went. Like, let's go there again. It's like he's blissfully unaware of here we go again, and it is not bothering him in the same way that it bothers the rest of us.
Although I will say, because you made the Fran Dino comparison, I'm watching those Fran Brown pressers closely. I'm not saying they're exactly the same, but I'm starting to hear some things that remind me of Coach Babers. And I think a lot of people will fight me on that. It's not a knock on Fran. But for example, I believe it was the SMU presser. It might have been the one before. Apologies if I messed it up. Ever since Steve Angeli got hurt, it's been a blur. But he said something along the lines of, you can't just judge things off of one game. You have to look at the season as a whole, which is true. But that is 100% something you'd hear from Dino. Like, look at the big picture, right? So that's not a knock on Fran, but that's to say we're now hearing what he sounds like when things aren't looking good.
Right.
And it almost makes me, respect isn't the right word, but I don't have that same level of anger towards Dino for doing it because, like, what do you say? It's only been 2 games. I'm waiting for when it gets complete code red and Fran Brown just starts getting mad at people. That's what I'm waiting for.
That's right. Like, Fran is, and this is where Dino, I think, struggled in this way. And, obviously, like, the ends of seasons did not treat him well, so he had to do that a lot. And Fran's never had to deal with this at the end of the season because the end of the season last year was magical. But Fran has a way of, like, last year, his message the whole year is like, man, we're going for championships. Like, the conference and national championship, it's the only thing that matters. Now, you win the Miami game, you don't make the ACC conference title game. The rest of us are like, wow, what a great year. But Fran was 10 wins. That doesn't matter. And then in the lead up to the bowl game, this team is so focused on 10 wins. I'm like, what the hell? You didn't say that once during the season. So I think I'm going to find it very interesting how he actively changes publicly how they're framing the year, to your point, because he's not dumb enough, right? He's not going to be talking now about the ACC championship or things like that. He knows they're not really going to be in the mix for that. I'll be interesting to see how he frames this year, if it is continues to be in a 2-3 year window, or how he looks at that going forward.
I'm just getting the chat open on my laptop. That's why you see me going around like a maniac, and I appreciate everybody showing up. Thank you for the love for the trucker hat. Good to see some familiar names in here. I see a lot of familiar names in here, so we love that. Where do you stand on the quarterback thing, Brian? And if you've mentioned this on a previous show, I do apologize. I am still tied up during those post games, but what would it take for you to want to switch to Luke Carney? Because I've been asking people this in the press box at the games, and I've just been wondering because, in my opinion, if Steve Angeli's going to come back and we don't see any improvement out of Ricky Collins throughout the season, because he gets a year to develop. If you look at his high school scouting reports coming in, that was the thing. This dude has a lot of talent. He needs to develop as a quarterback. We're watching that in front of our eyes. That's what happens when you don't play football competitively against another team for a while. If we don't see improvement by the end of the year, how badly do you need him back? However, you know what would be good to see? Luke Carney out there, because that's a guy who is younger and who, if Ricky Collins is still in front of him, do you stay to be third in line? I think it's a tougher decision than it should be. And I don't think that Ricky will sit healthy. But what do you think, or what would it take for you to expect that change?
Yeah, here's why I think this is so fascinating, Jordan, because I think this is, and especially in this era, I think if this is a decade ago, it's, pre-portal, still having to sit out as a transfer, no NIL. I think this is probably a different answer. And Ryan, we're actually not wearing the same color shirt. Jordan's, I believe, is a National Grid baby blue, and this is a.
It might be Carolina blue, but don't tell the people that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that during football season. Yeah, that's just terrible right now if you're rocking Carolina.
I'm sorry.
In football.
Before you answer, I want to address Steve in the chat. If I misspoke, I apologize. And Jelly is coming back, and I mean, I would think so, right? And he'll have another year with this red shirt. So if I made it sound like I didn't think he is, it's the opposite. I think now that he's coming back in with another year, I think there's less pressure to try to keep Ricky unless he proves to be real good. And guess what? If he proves to be real good, you think he's going to stay and sit for 2 years? So I think there's some value to seeing Luke Carney potentially. You can't throw him in a bad spot, but I think there's value to it if you don't see anything out of Ricky in the next few games.
Yeah, this is a purple shirt, by the way, so these are slightly different colors. But
is that periwinkle? Close to periwinkle?
I think it's like a light purple. I don't know if we've had that is an inside joke from a long time ago of a periwinkle debate we had one day, I think, in the office. Here's what I think. This is a 2 bye week season. This week, the next bye week comes after 10 games. So the season is close to over then. You got Notre Dame and Boston College after the next bye week. In my mind, Jordan, in this current era of college football, if you were, you can't just, let's toss Luke in for a series or two and, let's just see how it goes. In the past, I think you could do that. I don't think you can right now, because I think the second you do that, you're basically saying in this current era of NIL, and you've given him a lot of money, portal and all that, it's basically cutting ties with him, whether you want it to be or not. So
him being Ricky,
yes. And I agree with you on this, Jordan. I think Ricky starts, if not the whole rest of the season. I think we see him against Pittsburgh. The problem here is, he's not been it, right? He hasn't been it the last 2 weeks. And if you're Syracuse, you're like, okay, what are we developing him for is one question, if Angeli's going to be your guy next year. On the other hand, you can't really think too much about that, because Angeli's not coming back from, he's coming back from a freaking Achilles. I don't care. I realize surgery and all that's a lot better these days. He should be good to go, and he's a young guy for the start to next season. But that is among the injuries to predict coming back from. It's not an ACL. It's not like he had a bad high ankle sprain or a turf toe or something. That's one where you have to couch it a little bit. You don't quite know. So I think you look at it this week. I think Fran starts Collins this week, but Pitt's solid enough. Like next week, they could get crushed. Like, how long do you roll with it if it's the issues he's still having, which is just not seeing it? He's not seeing the field. He had 3 interceptions last week. He could have had 7. Like, he's just not seeing it. I have no idea, much like you. I don't know what Carney is right now.
Sorry, I rubbed my webcam until it started working, and I figured it out. So we're good for next week.
You're a freaking.
But I agree.
You're a
We know
genie.
Carney ran. We know Carney ran for a touchdown against a bad team.
Yeah.
We know he was good in Texas, which Texas high school football is legit. But we don't really know much about him. And also, and this is such an obvious take, but it's worth saying since we're discussing it, everybody wanted to see Ricky in the first couple games, myself included. I was sitting there like, if not now, then when?
Yes.
I haven't gotten to if not now, then when with Ricky, believe it or not, just because it doesn't feel like you're still scratching and clawing as much.
Yeah.
Maybe that's bad. Maybe that's really bad. But early it was like, we need to get off to a hot start. You got to progress from last year, yada, yada. Now I don't feel that sense of urgency, which kind of stinks. Maybe that's a quitter mentality, but that's why I'm not at if not now, then when, because it's kind of like, I could see some Luke, but it's also like, I get it if you stick with Ricky.
My thought is here, like, and again, I don't know where Carney is in practice. Like, yes, he has scored a touchdown on 100% of the plays he's ever played. Great. He had a 1-yard run against a crap team. Like, good for you. But what can he do? I'd say honestly, for me, based on what we've seen against Collins, and you're starting to think about the future of the program, if it's close, I'd switch right now. Because I think that makes more sense for the long-term future of the program. Because realistically, like, what are the odds, right, of Collins getting it over the course of the rest of the season to the level that he is then, by the time August rolls around next year, like, everyone's certain he's the guy? Like, that just doesn't feel likely when you factor in Angeli. And I think if you factor Carney into that in a way, it can happen in a way where he doesn't necessarily have to be the guy next year. And then there's the weird part, and I don't even know how you factor this in.
I think I know what you're going to say, and I've been thinking it, but I've been trying to let you get to it.
Yeah, because I tweeted this out, and I think this is honestly more fascinating, but it stinks to be talking about this in the first week of August. Like, where does the portal fit in here? Who is more likely to start game 1 next year when you look at Angeli, Carney, Collins, or a guy that we don't know yet? And how hard is it going to be to get a guy that we don't know yet when he's going to be not knowing about whatever the Angeli situation is, which realistically, out of all 3 of them, would be something that would loom over anyone thinking about it in the portal. I think it's going to be by far the most bizarre way that Fran has to address the portal as far as quarterbacks, and then add in this year, and who knows if it'll keep. Like, they just passed, right? Like, the portal's only open. Does that go into effect this year, like once in early January this year, and not after spring ball this year?
I believe so. My legal analysis game isn't as good as it was in my past life. I'm more worried about outbound calls, but I think that's this year.
My bet is, like, at some point that's going to get sued into oblivion, but I don't know what that does. Like, there's not a chance in hell that's still in place like 2 years from now. As far as this spring, I have no idea. It's going to set up Fran in a weird spot because, like, and again, who knows what happened, but, 1 + 1 = 2. Angeli must have come here knowing he had a really, really good chance to win that job. And he did.
I think that was the take, too. A lot of people had, like, you, and I don't want to say people, like, in the know because it sounds kind of snobby, but, like, let's be real about how this whole thing works.
Right. And
people talk to people, and people who say things confidently, like you were last year, generally have it on good accord from other people that Steve wouldn't have just came here for no reason.
No.
So,
do I think he was like, some people are like, oh, he was guaranteed the starting job. I still don't think it was that, but certainly now that we've seen them both play, I don't think it was actually that close in camp. I think Steve was the guy and proved it in camp. If you are a portal quarterback, like Steve came here knowing whatever they told him about what Ricky did in the spring, and we get into whatever you want about Trevor Pena or John Tate Cook and his uncle, and everything that's going allegedly some allegedly John Tate Cook's uncle.
His dad denied it. So if his dad denied it, then that means it definitely wasn't his uncle. If his dad said it wasn't his uncle, remember that.
Yeah, it was 100%. This was actually all Carl Mintz who was orchestrating this whole thing. I'm certain of it. So, but if you are in the portal next year and you're looking at Syracuse and you look at McCord and what Angeli did for 4 weeks, you're like, oh, yeah, come in and sling it. But then at the same time, you're like, well, wait, that Angeli guy, what? You can't feel confident you're going to get the job in the same way that my guess is. And nobody's ever going to say it. Steve's not stupid enough to say it out loud. Ricky's a nice enough guy. He's not going to say it out loud. Fran will go to his grave. He'll never say it out loud. Then nobody's ever going to say out loud that they thought that that's how it's going to go. I think we all think that, but we don't know. Next year, I don't know if you're in the portal that you can have that thought, because why would you? So I think Ricky, I feel bad for Ricky because he comes off well in these pressers, these interviews. He's not come off well on the field. Like, I don't know the guy, but he seems a genuine guy. I like his vibe. He's in a really tough spot, Jordan. I don't, other than playing great next Saturday against Pitt, I don't know a way out the end of the tunnel that shows Ricky Collins that's still on Syracuse's roster next year.
I agree. SU talk. I don't know how it works with a second person on camera, but I'll definitely look to address questions in the chat if you got them too.
SU talk. We might be able to. I think the technology exists to pull that off going forward. Maybe next week. Maybe next week. But if you have anything, SU talk, lob it in the chat. Like the system we're using can technically do that, but we'd be winging it something fierce if we tried to pull that off. Tonight. So
I was thinking the other way with the portal, Brian. What if you put Carney in, he does all right. Now he's on a bunch of teams' radars. Now you might be without Collins and you might be without Carney. And look, Rich Beelan throws a pretty ball. He really did, when he was just throwing it, one-on-ones, he looked real good at camp. Then again, so did Ricky.
Yeah.
So there's clearly a reason that Carney's the 3. But that's the flip side. And I don't think you can worry about that. But as a fan, you can worry about that. What if you put Carney in? He's actually pretty good. And now all these other teams hold up, we kind of want this guy. That's something, in my opinion. Will Fran worry about it? He certainly wouldn't admit to it. I don't know if he actually will. I think you kind of have to think about that a little bit. You can't lose 2 backups.
Right. Well, and there's the other side of the coin that, all right, we already know, and again, Collins can get better. Anyone can improve. He's played 2 football games in 4 years, basically. He can get better. None of us feel great about it right now. But, it can happen. You know what else stinks right now? Arch Manning. And I still want my Giants to take him. He's going to, at some point, even though Jackson Dart and Cam Scatteraboo is the best thing going on.
Drew Aller, but we already knew that.
Yes, Drew Aller on planet Earth. So we look at this. I think that, let's say, because here's another scenario. 6 games left. All right, you start Collins because – here's my mind. If Fran makes this change, we know this. Fran's not going to be like, let's check it out. If he makes the change, boom. Because you know how he says it. His starting quarterback is the number 2 guy in the program. Last year, he said it about Kyle McCord all year. And I got to the end of the year, I'm like, well, we all know Kyle was that guy, right? We dealt with him every week. We saw it he was that dude. I wonder if that's a Kyle thing, how he does that, or if that's how he talks about quarterbacks. Well, in the spring, Ricky Collins was the number 2 guy in the program. Then in August, Steve Angeli was the number 2 guy in the program. Now it's October, and Ricky's the number 2 guy in the program. So Fran's not afraid to throw the switch. I could see, all right, but if Collins really struggles for the rest of this month, and you're like, man, I don't think he's got it. And if he may get it sometime, but it's probably not going to be in a Syracuse uniform. It's probably going to be down the line. Jacobian Morgan's lighting it up at Jackson State now. If somebody
is he?
Yeah,
is Carlos Del Rio Wilson slinging it at Marshall? How's he doing?
Who just had, man? Somebody just sent me this the other day. Justin Lampson's at.
Oh my gosh, I forgot he existed. He was at Stanford. Is he gone?
Yeah, he's gone. I think he's at Montana State or something. But he's
no way.
So former Syracuse quarterbacks I had forgotten Jacoby and Morgan existed as a human, but they're killing it all around the country. Like, I'm not writing off the rest of Ricky Collins' football career, but I'm saying if he doesn't get it in the next month here, realistically, it's not going to be here. I can, like, there is a scenario though that Luke Carney, again, it's the guy you don't know. What could it be? There is more of a chance of Carney or Collins that Carney could beat out Angeli next year, maybe by just being better than Collins could, just because we've seen the other two. That's not saying Carney would. I don't know. It's the you don't know what's in the box. What? It's in the box. Is it a boat? I don't know. And it's the backup quarterback scenario. The other side of it is, yeah, Carney's the backup quarterback. He's the third string quarterback. He's the fourth string quarterback. Going back, you forget about Jakari Williams. Like, it's not like he was in a neck and neck battle with these guys. So I got no idea what he is, but depending on how the next few weeks goes, I think Fran, and when Fran does it, it's either going to be it's either 6 straight games of Collins, or like we're all out on that for the rest of the year.
Well, here's the thing, too. I mean, by my estimation, and I'm seeing you in the chat. Thank you, Ruben. Thank you, KC fan. T-Take saw you, too. SU Talk, I didn't see that Barnes liked I posted a snake thing on Instagram, and SU players are liking it. All the SU guys like their former teammates' posts, though.
Yeah.
I don't read too much into I love reading into social media, but they'll just, anything that's their teammates, they'll like it for sure.
There's no, for the most part, unless a guy was really a prick. Those guys are boys for life. It's just not the way it is anymore. They're not enemies. It was the only thing of no wrong answers I got right last week that Barnes would have a pick. So there was.
Yeah. So what? I'm not going in order, but BC, Pitt, UNC, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Miami. Right? Those are the 6. Right? I didn't mess that up.
BC, Pitt, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Miami, and what else did you say? I don't know. Georgia Tech, Miami, and Notre Dame are all away from the Dome. BC, Pitt, and Belichick.
UNC.
Yeah, Belichick.
Which, by the way,
they stink.
That now looks like the most winnable freaking game. Like, if I were somebody who wagered money on sports, I probably would have taken a look at UNC covering against Clemson, because they both look bad, and like Clemson just blew them out. So I know the transitive property isn't perfect in sports, but you beat that Clemson team pretty darn good, and they whooped UNC. Ricky Collins, Steve Angeli, Luke Carney, my 5'3" noodle arm. If you can't beat UNC, that'll really, really stink. But I think that's why maybe, Fran's not too quick to make a move. 1, he's loyal, but 2, you can still make a bowl game. Like Pitt, BC, UNC, winnable.
Yeah, and obviously you need to.
Don't love Pitt with their freshman QB being great, though. Don't love that.
They just murderized Boston College last week, and the timing of that is amazing, isn't it? For the conversation we're having about tossing in a freshman quarterback when we're talking about Carney and everything going on. Like, who was Pitt's quarterback before that? It was a guy that transferred in from the SEC. Didn't they have one of Alabama's old guys as their quarterback? I think.
Was it Holstein, or is he the new guy?
I don't know. I think Holstein was the old guy. I think Holstein was the Alabama dude. That game's not for a week and a half. I don't know the guy's name. I know Pitt had a freshman quarterback that played last week. Their fans were loving it. And that's where Carney is just like, well, and somebody just mentioned Sean Tucker. Yeah, with these guys.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and again, the scenario that led to Sean Tucker getting that job in that COVID year was just bonkers, with guys opting out and what's his name who transferred to Louisville getting hurt, and just like he was 5th string. And,
oh gosh, Jawar Jordan, maybe?
Yes, Jawar Jordan. Who was it? It was Abdul Adams and somebody else that definitely had a name opted out in COVID. Jawar Jordan was the starting running back, like ran for 100 yards and like blew out his knee or whatever happened. And then it was like, who's this guy?
Then he was good at Louisville, by the way. He was good. He was shifty. He made some plays.
Oh, he was fantastic last year. He was like the best back in the ACC last year. And I was like, oh, man, the 5th string running back. And then Tucker's just he was the only thing worth the crap about that 2020 season. And obviously we know what he did the couple of years after that. Now he's killing it with the Bucs. He's their kick returner.
Jarvion Howard. Oh, my gosh, the name.
Jarvion Howard. I would have not. You could have given me
what a ball.
a million guesses, and we weren't going to land on Jarvion Howard. No.
No, you could have sat here and just let me come up with name 24 hours. I'm not getting that.
T takes. How about this? T takes. I doubt Belichick will be there for UNC. You think he's gone before the end of the month? That'll be fast.
I'm very curious. I thought they were going to try to fire him real early for that buyout clause.
Yeah.
The 1 million, 10 million, not doing that. So here's the thing with Belichick, and I don't want to get too far on a Belichick tangent. At this point, either Belichick tucks his tail between his legs and walks away, or you wait until the end of the season.
Yeah.
I don't think you boot a guy like that mid-season. Like, do they stink out loud? Yeah. Has he earned it if he wants to finish out the year? Yeah. Are you paying him a lot as well? Yeah.
Jarvion Howard was in the Bills camp this year? No kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. And he got hurt. All right.
Do you see him winning 6, Brian? I know we're on a fun tangent.
Yeah,
but
no, because
you don't see him beating Pitt, do you?
Not really. Pitt has not. Okay. Pitt's not gone well for the last 2 decades. We're at a bit of a 2-decade lull against Pitt. Obviously, that game was the outlier of all outliers last year as Kyle McCord's brain exploded. I remember, Jordan, we were sitting there Tuesday morning after that game last year, so you think he's going to show up to do a show this week? And the dude couldn't have been more professional, been like, man, that was nuts, awesome. Huh? I was terrible. I'm like, you were terrible. And he was so, it was amazing how he dealt with it. I will appreciate
McCord's story too. I missed the press release from the company to get some bags of his chips. Got emailed to me, just totally didn't know. And when Kyle was leaving the studio one day, I was like, hey, dude, can you bring me some of those chips? He brought 2 bags. He just brought them.
They were
incredible.
They were
being
delicious.
that McCord.
They were delicious, and
they were great.
Yeah, I missed the Kyle McCord chips. That's maybe the worst part about him being gone this year is we don't have any more chips. I don't know. It's so strange. Beating Pitt's hard. I said this before the year. I predicted him to go 7-5, not knowing a lot about the quarterback situation. I'm like, I know Fran's going to get one on the road. He's gotten one on the road. Clemson. I'm like, they're not. Jordan's going back in for the chicken wing dip. I know they're not going undefeated at home. I don't care if they're the 6 easiest games. They're not going undefeated at home. That's just not going to happen. And then the Duke game happened a couple of weeks ago. And you look at the 3 road games left. Miami, that's a problem. Miami might be the best team in the country. They're hanging out in Ohio State's classification right now. That plus, I get a lot of rosters changed. They're going to be pissed that they lost the game in the Dome last year. That's a tough one. Georgia Tech, I think, is really good. Syracuse has never played well in Atlanta. With Schaefer, they lost 56-0. It was Dino's last game and that whole wonkiness down there. That's tough. Honestly, out of the 3, depending where you're at, could you imagine if they go into Notre Dame and win in Luke Carney's first career start coming out of a bye week on November 22nd? I wouldn't rule that out.
Notre Dame is Notre Dame. I wasn't thinking about how much they've underperformed. I don't think it's going to happen, but that is interesting because before the year, I think very cold take with how last season ended, but you look at Notre Dame, that's the one where they have 0, not a chance. Now you're looking is that one you could try to sneak out maybe to get to 6? Maybe.
If you gun to the head right now, I'd probably say 5-7. You get Carolina and you get BC. Just because I don't think, even if they don't have a bowl on the line, I don't think Fran's going to let the wheels fall off going to the last game against BC. Pitt, we can talk about this next week more when we think about the game, but I just think that game's been so tough for the Orange of late. Pitt's a solid team. Pitt's O-line versus Syracuse's D-line. I just think there's going to be some problems in that game that are going to be hard to overcome unless, and this is what I think is going to be fascinating. All right, what did Syracuse get done this week? Let's just assume Ricky Collins is starting next week. All right, well, think about some of the stuff Fran said post-game last game. We love Jeff Nixon, but whatever. Was it Collins? Was it the playing call? Fran was like, hey, we didn't run the stuff I wanted to run in the first half. All right. Did you spend this whole week really figuring out like the 5 things you want to do with them? Like what are the 5-10 things that you can give to Ricky in this offense right now that work? And can you drill them enough during this week that that's enough to have an improved quarterback for the rest of the season? And I have no idea the answer to that. And maybe we find out, okay, we know the talent's there. He's a 4-star guy. He can sling it. Maybe they put enough in this week that they simplify. Like, McCord was different level, and Jelly was a really good reader of the field, very decisive over the middle. Collins has not proven that yet. He's proven the opposite. Can they cut it down so he's getting half-field reads, so he's getting, just 2 options? So it's, hey, if this isn't there, pull it and go. Can you simplify it in a way for Ricky that it works? I don't know the answer to that. But my guess is, and maybe I'm wrong, my guess is that's what they're doing right now. My guess is that's what this week is, and I guess we'll find out.
Joe, I'm sorry about the audio difference. If you weren't here for the beginning, I was all set up on the laptop, and I wiped the camera too hard, and I thought I broke it, and it works now, but if I'm a little quieter, I apologize.
I think you might be louder. I'm turning Jordan down. Hey.
Oh, I'm louder?
Well, I've got all the things in front of me. I have the controls at my fingertips. Hey, Joe, and for anybody out there, like, we're just winging this.
Let me know.
Yeah, just
let me know.
If you have issues like that, you just let it go. So is that better? Now, like, we'll monkey with it. You tell us, and we'll fix it on the fly. But yeah, I just turned Jordan down a little bit. If you wanted me to go the other way, I could do that. Yeah, SU Talk 44. That's the plan. But it's also a plan we've talked about off and on and really just let it fly this morning. So, what'll be the plan by tomorrow morning? I don't know. But that's the plan at the moment. That's the plan at the moment. Yeah, we're gonna do a thing.
I'm now quieter. Oh, I figure I'm probably quiet. I've got to invest in
now he's
something
too low.
To
okay, he's going back up. He's going back up. Well, we're gonna split the difference. Okay.
Just beat me up.
How's that?
I'm too low. Okay.
Yeah, I put him back in the middle. All right. How's that, people? I don't know.
I'm probably too quiet because I'm in AirPod mode. I'll figure something out. I do want to ask Brian, like, do you want to keep going football? Do we want to teeter into basketball? Because I think there's things of interest with football in terms of what you're still looking for. But
Ryan Mullins says it's perfect now. We're perfect now. Go team. Now I blame the chat. You could have told us 45 minutes ago. Ridiculous. Chat,
can I just say, I don't think this is going to be a popular opinion, and I know there are some much better things about this team. I feel very similar to how I felt last year about the basketball team. Not to take a hard switch, and I apologize, and I'm also sure, I don't know how in-depth we'll be able to get, but with basketball, I feel the same last year where I'm looking at the team, and I'm like, this team should be really, good. I don't want to say really good because, are they in the tournament? That's tough in the ACC. You have to be top 6, and you probably have to be better than that. They've added pieces. I don't feel like it's a slam dunk.
No.
Like, are you significantly more confident?
I think the team will be better than last year because, and we talked about this a lot during portal time, it feels to me that they hit the portal this year. Was that having a GM? Was it having NIL? Was it just, not being lost in the weeds because you're not new to it anymore? I don't know. It seemed that they hit the portal with an actual plan this year, where last year they didn't. They were just wait. Hey, Lampkin, that's a center. Let's get him. Wait, I thought we wanted to play fast. No, he makes wings. Like, what? This year
they do have a plan.
Yeah, this year you got a point guard. Is he the best? I don't know. Nate George led the ACC in assists last year. That seems like a good thing. Are these centers any good? I don't know, but they're all like 6'9", 6'10", and bouncy. It's at least an idea. Like, what's Kyan Anthony as a freshman? Well, he's not going to be his dad, because that was the best freshman season I've ever freaking seen in my life. But can he be good? Can Sadiq White be useful this year? Sure. Will JJ stay healthy? I still think the key in many ways to this season is exactly what it was last year. Donnie Freeman. Can Donnie go up here? Like, he was clearly hurt all last season. Is he healthy? Can he be that dude? Like, if Donnie does what we thought he might last year, okay. That said, the Vegas tournament is nuts. You're playing at minimum 2 top 10 teams. Like, I feel this is like lost in the ether. They're playing Houston and Kansas. Like, what? Like, those could be just, might go out and get crushed twice and then have to get up the mat and play somebody else that's probably decent in the third, then turn around and come back home and play Tennessee, who smoked you last year and the year before. I don't know. Like, that stretch there, you're going to have to, early in the season, I think they'll be better than last year. How could you not, right? They have to get through that stretch without the wheels falling off. Because if you go and just get crushed in those games, even if you could be a tournament team and get crushed in those games. But, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is you I'm talking about. The fan base is going to collapse if they get crushed in those 4 games, and it is going to turn into like a really weird vibe, and everyone's going to be calling for Red to get fired. And it's just going to turn into misery around here that I don't know if they can get out of regardless of talent. And I think, honestly, that may be a bigger challenge this season than just being good at basketball. Because I think they have good players, but the wheels could fall off in December in a way that's not fixable.
Yeah. And MD, you must be a longtime fan of Brian to be here, but have no idea who I am. So I love that. I am Jordan. I used to work with Brian.
If you can see on the screen, I can't actually, I like to point at the graphics. Jordan, point straight down in the middle of your screen. Yeah, put your finger.
Okay, so this is this hand?
Well, just go in the middle. Like, take your hand to your chest and point down like this. Yeah, that's where it says "and Jordan Capozzi" on the screen. So that's where Jordan.
I'm trying to point to the picture. But we're on such a delay.
Yeah, you're going the wrong way. There it is.
He's going the wrong way.
There's Jordan posing with a stuffed candy
corn.
Yes.
I won it out of a crane machine. Her name is Cece. Yeah. It's short for candy corn.
Yeah, it's epic. It's epic is what it is.
So I don't know what I'm confident in with the team, though, to be honest. Like, I know Nate George is going to be better. I know that for sure.
Has to be.
I think William Kyle will be better at some things, but I also think they will lack at certain things that Eddie did provide. Granted, the main thing is what Nate George brings.
Right.
So you should be fine there. What I'm really thinking is going to make or break this season personally. Everybody's talking about Kyan. Like, I still think some people are talking about him as if he's going to be a starter, and I don't think a lot of people think that. But
I don't think he will be.
But I remember when he first came, people were speculating about it before the backcourt was full, and I think people still talk about it like they think he's going to just hit the ground running and be like incredible from the jump. And I think Kyan will be good. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people like to forget that Sadiq was the higher rated prospect, right. So you'd think he should be good too. How quickly can they start contributing is a really big question for me because, yeah, the 5 looks good for sure. The things that you heard JJ and Donnie both say about Nate Kings, that he's one of the best shooters they have ever seen. Those guys have played a lot of basketball. If that is true and it's not just, being nice to your teammate, that is incredibly exciting. But what's going on behind those guys? Because, look, the starting 5 is going to be better, but that starting 5 isn't going to win you an entire game playing 40 minutes every game.
Right.
Like, you're going to need some guys behind them. And I think eventually, I don't know how quick it is, Sadiq or Kyan are going to have to be, relied upon. At least one of them contributes something every game.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's interesting. Like, this is so unfair to Kyan, but this is life because of who his dad is. Carmelo Anthony's first regular season game, I mean, he went nuts in the exhibition games, but the first regular season game, Garden, Memphis, Syracuse lost. Melo was so freaking good in that game that if any Syracuse fan that day was like, oh, they lost? Yeah, whatever. This, holy hell, this guy. Kyan's not that. This is why I mentioned the schedule. Because these 2 freshmen, I think, are talented. I think if Syracuse is a tournament team, those 2 have a significant role to play. But I also think it's a role that's going to grow. So can they get through November, early December, and those raft of tough games while those guys are still figuring it out? Like, do I think Kyan Anthony's gonna like go out and win him a game against Kansas? You know, his dad won a game against Kansas. That way, like, no, I don't think like Kyan's gonna do that in like his 6th career game or whatever it is. Do I think Kyan could go out and win him a game against, I don't know, Wake Forest or something in February without looking at the schedule? Yeah. Can they get?
That's what I'm wondering though, because I think there's some people, and I think he's really good. If he weren't Melo's son, right? I don't think as many people are like, this guy will come in and he will immediately, deliver. I'm not so sure. Like, look, it sounds very Jim Boeheim, right? But freshman, right? You have to be a very special freshman.
Right.
You might have a good game or two. I need to see how quickly you can rely upon those guys to come off the bench and like what you're getting. It can't be like, oh, I hope Kyan has a good scoring game tonight. It's like, all right, you can count on him if you give him 10 minutes to get 8 points or so. Like, I think that sort of thing is going to be necessary, and maybe I'm just trying not to get too excited, but like, I think I want to see that before I can count on it personally.
And this is, I wrote this today in my column on Juice Online. Go check it out, Syracuse on SI. That this is where the two things we've talked about tonight combine. Because last year, remember this, like, we were so into the Fran thing and that Miami game. Like, the basketball season was literally a month and a half, 2 months old last year before we really sunk our teeth into it. And unfortunately, due to a lot of factors, it was essentially over by the time we started paying attention to it. But that's what happened. You got those games in November. Can Fran Brown provide Red Autry enough cover to make it to where they've turned the corner this year? Can they keep, is it basketball season? Can they keep football locked in on people's minds so we're going into Notre Dame Thanksgiving Saturday, or going into Notre Dame the Saturday before Thanksgiving? Like the Notre Dame and BC games, they surround that Vegas tournament. Like, if Fran Brown, like, hey, everyone look over here, Fran Brown's in South Bend, look at that, playing BC, bowl game on the line. Like, if there's stuff like that going on, I know this is stupid, but it's the fact, the pressure on basketball turns down just a little bit when you're playing Houston, who's really freaking good, or Kansas, who's really freaking good, or Tennessee, who's really freaking good, and at least gives you a chance to not ruin everybody's mood by the time maybe you figure it out. And I think that's where we're at. Like, Red needs Fran to win some games here to let basketball win some games, and then it'll come down to, like, make the tournament. Like, I think we all think that, whatever win meaningful games in March means, and I'm sure we'll be debating that come March. But I think that's where we're at, and I think it's going to be fascinating to watch here going forward. Yes, Jordan got a job, Chad. SU Talk 44, your previous question, will we get Scott Schaefer on as a guest now that he's retired? I love my guy Schaefer. I love dealing with him in his time here. He was such a genuine dude. I'd say until Fran Brown came along, he cared about his players more than any coach I've ever seen, and I'd still put Schaefer right up there. I had to unfollow Schaefer on Twitter. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't.
Was it bad?
I couldn't handle it. He's a God love Schaefer. He is 100% MAGA, went off the deep end. I just, like, I stuck with it. I stuck with it for a few years. I love the guy. I love dealing with him. He was a nice guy. I couldn't
Let's get into the life portion of this stream. Like, because I was sitting here thinking, I kind of want to ask him what he thinks Luke Fennell's going to give us.
Yeah.
But now I'm more worried about this. Let's get to the life portion.
Yeah. Couldn't take it anymore.
Why not just mute him? Like, if that's your boy, like, yeah, he posts some stuff you don't love. Why not just mute him? Then you don't see it.
I usually do the mute. I think it's one I haven't had to mute anyone in a while, which is actually shocking. For one, I sort of forgot mute existed. So I guess that's one. And it was so ceaseless. I just couldn't deal. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it anymore. It wasn't the content. Have whatever opinion you want. It was the volume. The volume was oppressive. It was like 15 in a row. I'm like, I couldn't do it.
I know what you mean.
It was
like,
just too
sneak
many.
in a little opinion if you want. I'm not going to hold you, but like, if I get like 10 all caps tweets. The worst is when people will send like 3 tweets in 15 minutes. And it's like, dude, like, look, I did social media for a living once upon a time. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying I did it great, but I kind of like had a process. I will go in and narrow tweets, like those media spread reviews you see. I'm in there like, okay, what words can I cut out? What can I abbreviate? Blah, 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 blah. The worst, and I don't know if Shave did this, but it's like, don't give me 3 tweets in 10 minutes about the same topic. Like, get all your thoughts out in one concise tweet.
No,
That's the worst.
here's what he was doing. And again, this is not a political conversation. I know it comes off as that. What of the various nonsense in the world that's happened over the last months, of which it is ceaseless, as we all know, being alive today. Like, he'd go, it would be a retweet comment on just like 15 things in a row, and it's just like, hey, but it's all the same thing. It's just like, it's like, I'm just trying to get on here. I was like, I wonder if anyone's talking about Syracuse this morning, and it's just Scott Schaefer, and not one of them was about an exotic blitz package. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't take it. It was, the volume was oppressive. It was like his blitzing. He does everything, balls to the wall. God, I love Schaefer. Like, one of my favorite moments of Syracuse losing a game in recent memory, as bad as it was, is when Schaefer came in here with Middle Tennessee and beat him. I walked past him coming down the stairs in the back hallway. He had a cigar in his mouth, just beaming. I'm like, man, it's like, this is a terrible, terrible loss for Syracuse, but what a guy. I love Scott. Like, good for him. Good for him.
So I felt about Matt Langle. I wished him good luck before Syracuse beat Colgate because he came on the show, and then after they won, I was like, I didn't mean that good of luck. Just texted him, and he just texts back, "Ha!" with an exclamation point.
And like, quickly, he got back to you. Yeah, but I love Schaefer. This is not a political statement, but man, he went so far off the deep end. He's like, he's in the Marianas Trench somewhere, and it was just the volume. The volume was too much. Couldn't deal with the volume, so we had to cut him loose. I feel bad about it. I'm not an unfollow guy on social media for the most part. I'll just, say what you want. The volume. I couldn't deal with the volume. Too much volume. Because you're right. You gotta pick your points. Like, I got a social media manager tab. I want it right here. I got it up here. Like, you gotta space your things out. That's not the game he was playing. He was going full, just like a flood of information. All right, man. The plan's to do this every week. At least until that's not the plan anymore. So for now, that's the plan. Jordan's gonna eat some buffalo chicken dip.
It's been sitting here for an hour.
Yeah. Was that fresh right before the show started? When did you make it? I loved how I asked you a question while you were oh, it's going down spicy. Yeah, no beanie T takes. He's got a was that a Leinenkugel hat? What's on your hat? Your hat?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's a good hat.
No, I really like it. So no free promo, right? But we're just gonna get real. I kind of, by the way, we can format it like this each week where we stay on track for like 45 minutes or so, then go off the rails for 10. That feels fun.
We stayed on track longer than normal, so I feel good about that.
I wanted like some higher quality boxers. I think it's like all guys in the YouTube, right? So I went to Duluth Trading Company.
Okay.
And when I was doing that, this hat was like $6.
It's a fantastic looking hat.
I'll try. Right? It doesn't fit great. It's tough to wear backwards because the back like is so big.
No, that's not a good backwards hat.
But I'm a hair guy, so it's like big size. It works great with the hair. And it's just colorful. It's cool.
I like the scenery. There's a boat and water and trees.
But no beanie. Gosh, I might have had a point. Okay. That this buffalo wing dip, which I'm making for work tomorrow because it's like tailgate day.
Sure it is.
My test batch came out of the oven at like 8:52. So
okay,
it was like a rush. My mom, who for those who don't know, I'm with my mom. Take care of my mom. So she's up there. She's vibing. She's listening to me. Love you.
Hi, Jordan's mom.
She apparently has never had chicken wing dip.
Really?
So when I told her I was making it, she was like, you should have got someone made it for me. And I was like, I'll make a little test batch. So that comes out 8:52. Let it cool 3 minutes. Bring up the little ramekin or whatever it's called to her, and then run down here, get mine. And I was like, I'm gonna have to make this content because I don't have time to eat it. And that's why we're doing this.
That all makes perfect. That also explains why, like, when I was getting this all set up, you had your camera up and it was just staring there, and you weren't there. You were tending to the oven, or so you were getting the dip ready. You're right, MD.
Mm-hmm.
AI could not have come up with that. Yeah,
No.
AI ain't got anything on this. This is why you need. This is why you need a real thing. All right, we've been cooking for an hour. It's 10 o'clock on a Wednesday. If you got here, yes, Jordan is a legit good person. Diet Coke Lime.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate it, MD.
Yeah, I'm not a
dude. Limited edition.
Whoa, I'm not a diet soda guy, as you know. I do like lime though. Yeah, so we're gonna try
friend, yeah, I think I can say his name on the chat. Our friend Paulie converted me. I wasn't, and then I started doing it just as a joke, like literally just to kind of mimic him. Now I'm a diet soda guy. Shout out our boy.
As we know, I'm not friends with Paulie, and I do not go to his. I do not go to his house. You can still hear those commercials on the airway. I think. All right, Chad.
There's a new one.
Oh, there is there? Okay. We're the current plan, just so y'all know, is it may change. We'll let you know. 9 o'clock on Wednesdays. Obviously, it's a YouTube live show. It'll archive if you missed it. So, goof off at work, watch it on Thursday morning. I'm going to upload it as a podcast as well. If you guys are not subscribed to podcasts, I'm available pretty much wherever podcasts are available. After I did like a 3-hour customer service deal with Apple a couple weeks ago. That was great. Thanks, Apple. They actually fixed it, whatever it was. It wouldn't let me create a login. Like, it was the stupidest problem. Like, I was just trying to create, it sent the code to my phone, and then I typed the code in from my phone. It was just like, no. I'm like, but you just sent me the code. Like, what do you mean, no? Don't tell, like, you sent it to me. It was like, nah, no. So that got fixed. So, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, just, subscribe it, auto download it. I don't care if you listen to it. Just, analytics. You're already here.
Play it in the background. Put it on mute and play it while you sleep. And then after it ends, your phone will just, go dark and you won't waste any more battery. Put it on the charger. Just run it up, dude. Yeah. Build a bot to keep playing it over and over again.
Exactly. Yes, Ryan. Birdcam's elite. I saw a blue jay today. We're starting to get some birds.
The bird cam is so good. Yeah. The bird cam is so good. One day I'll do a show live from the bird cam. Just wait on it.
Which will be disturbing because that means Jordan will just be standing in the corner of my backyard. It does have night vision apparently, so we might be able to do that. Yes, Ryan. Everyone subscribe, notifications on, throw a like. We're going to wrap it up for now. We'll see you on social media. No post-game show this week because, there's no game. So go apple picking. Rake your leaves. Look at birds. Bird cam. Maybe National Grid can be a sponsor. Then we can get Jordan some more swag. Huh? Jordan can tell me who to talk to about that. He's an employee there now. We can. He knows people. Maybe. I don't know. He's been there.
I hope I represented them well.
Sure. I mean, what are we all gonna? We all have National Grid. What are we gonna do about it? Go Pal.
Pay your bills.
Yeah.
Pay your bills. I'm only commercial, so as long as you don't run a business, I'm not coming for you. But pay your bills.
Okay. Well, I paid my bill the other day. Go team. All right. There he is. For Jordan, I'm Brian. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll talk again next week. If I can find the right button to end it. Here it is.